It is Tuesday, July 15th, 8:22 p.m. I'm in my room. My car got booted today, and the boot is still on, and I have to pay hundreds of dollars to get it off that I don't have. And this week is about faith in the artist's way. I'm facing a really interesting cognitive test right now, which is, do I have faith that situations will work themselves out and that I will have all of the necessary tools within myself to work out the situation in an instance where maybe that's not very apparent, seeing as I don't have hundreds of dollars and I have like 48 more hours to produce it, or my car will be impounded. You know, you caught me on kind of an off day, but it's actually been pretty good lately. I had a public crash out about it. I was really upset. I'm really mad about the circumstances that led to my car being booted. It was actually a pretty good day until then. My card declined when I was at the cafe, and I was chatting up the barista, and he put like a senior discount and a student discount and an ex-military discount, and he got me my coffee for $2.69, and that felt like a blessing in itself. So I was sipping my cortado in this coffee shop that's also a church, and I was really enjoying myself last night. I was going through Pharrell's discography, just dancing around the house. I was just feeling really good. I've been getting these cool intuitive feelings that certain desires of mine may be coming to fruition soon, and that I'm starting to become the kind of person that can receive those desires and maintain them. I really credit this program, The Artist's Way, with getting me to realize my desires and to not be ashamed of them, and to be able to just write them down on paper and not, apply judgment to myself for wanting the things I want. Fuck, I'm thinking about my car getting impounded. God damn it. I'm excited to see where I'm going. Things feel like they're picking up. I've been in kind of a weird state of stagnancy post-grad for the last couple weeks, where I've just been doing not a damn thing. Partially not my fault. I've had no money for 2 weeks. My bank account was frozen. On the 14th day, God smiled down upon me and my bank account was unfrozen, and I went and got a coffee and got gas in my car, and then now I have no money again from those 2 purchases. But considering the fact this is week 11, faith, I'm going to have faith in myself to work out a solution, as I always have and I always do. This is something that I think that people who don't know me very well don't understand about me yet until they get to know me better. My life on the surface looks pretty chaotic, and it kind of looks like I'm wildly dysregulated all the time, and that I'm always completely winging it. And some of that's true. It's true that I can be a bit impulsive, and I tend to kind of not really know how things are gonna work out until the very last minute. Some of my behaviors of avoidance definitely contribute to these situations I get myself in. But people don't understand when they first meet me and they observe my chaos is like, they haven't seen the way that I handle things yet. And they don't really see that I am pretty logical and calculated in a lot of the risks I take. I'm not really delusional. I can be a little out of it sometimes, when I'm really wrapped up in my own chaos, but I have a pretty down-to-earth understanding of how things are going to work out. I have this kind of incredible ability to always make a full recovery. Some of it will feel like luck, like very lucky things will randomly happen. I feel that I have very good and very bad luck. It's a little abnormal on both fronts. I'm blessed kind of with being an overthinker chronically. That does make me pretty analytical. Being analytical is a trait that serves you well when you're also really chaotic and kind of all over the place. The weird predicaments I've gotten myself into, where my phone is dead and I get stranded somewhere, which happens a lot, or I get stranded somewhere with no money, or I lock my keys in my car and I somehow get home. If you cherry pick all of those events, you're gonna miss a lot of the other dimensions to my personality. I'm rational as hell. Everything keeps working out. I have maybe a rational faith. No, actually, I have rational faith as Erich Fromm. I'm gonna say his name wrong. The guy who wrote Art of Loving, that bitch. Erich Fromm. I'm gonna look up the pronunciation right now. How to pronounce? Hold on. Say it out loud, bro.
Erich Fromm.
Okay, Erich Fromm. Erich Fromm said, I don't even remember what he actually said in The Art of Loving. This is a tangent I shouldn't have gone on. He has this idea in this book that I love called The Art of Loving that's like about rational faith. Let's look it up because this is actually relevant to the video. Erich Fromm, rational faith. Let's not go to the AI overview. While irrational faith is rooted in submission to a power which is felt to be overwhelmingly strong, omniscient, and omnipotent. Oh, I'm getting an ad on Goodreads. Jesus, nothing is accessible anymore. They don't want me to fucking... What the fuck happened to my browser just now? Browser! Oh, Jesus Christ. Everything is glitching like horrifying. Lee. Fuck me, I guess I'll never do anything again, whatever. I'm gonna look it up on Firefox. The Art of Loving. Rational faith. Okay, guys. Here it comes, the good part of the video. While irrational faith is rooted in submission... Hold on. While irrational faith is rooted in submission to a power which is felt to be overwhelmingly strong, omniscient, and omnipotent, and in the abdication of one's own power and strength, rational faith is based upon the opposite experience. We have this... Oh my god, I'm getting the ad again! We have this faith in a thought because it is the result of our own observation and thinking. We have faith in the potentialities of others, of ourselves, and of mankind because, and only to the degree of which we have experienced the growth of our own potentialities, the reality of growth in ourselves, the strength of our own power of reason and of love. To believe in power that exists is identical with disbelief in the growth of potentialities which are as yet unrealized. There is no rational faith in power. There is submission to it, or, on the part of those who have it, the wish to keep it. While to many power seems to be the most real of all things, the history of man has proved it to be the most unstable of all human achievements. Because of the fact that faith and power are mutually exclusive, all religions and political systems which originally are built on rational faith become corrupt and eventually lose what strength they have if they rely on power or ally themselves with it. To have faith requires courage, the ability to take a risk, the readiness even to accept pain and disappointment. Whoever insists on safety and security as primary conditions of life cannot have faith. Whoever shuts himself off in a system of defense where distance and possession are his means of security makes himself a prisoner. To be loved and to love need courage, the courage to judge certain values as of ultimate concern, and to take the jump and stake everything on these values. That's what he has to say about rational faith. I cannot recommend this book more, and I'm actually very overdue for another read of it. It was a great comfort to me when I was experiencing this really insane breakup 2 years ago that kind of transcended what a breakup normally looks like and led into this very weird, deep, existential entanglement that made me have to redefine everything that I think about love and faith and the powers that be. It was a really, really, really intense experience that was aided greatly by going on this Seattle trip, on which I was very miserable due to my questioning of the powers that be. Going into this bookstore with my friends, and The Art of Loving by Erich Fromm was sitting out, glowing like a playable object in a video game. It was the only book that I saw, and my friends got very sick of me just constantly being like it was just fucking, it's the friend that you wish you didn't invite to Miami, where I would just be busting it out and being like, can I read you guys a quote on vulnerability? No, they actually were very accommodating. I found it to be deeply powerful and moving. I remember that one of the biggest crises I was having is that I still had a great deal of love for this person, and I didn't want them out of my life, and I didn't really know how to reconcile that. It was a situation where the relationship was just not really over, and it was just kind of the plug just had to be pulled at an abrupt time, and there's a lot of pain that came from that. But I also just had never been in a situation like that. Relationships had always ended like somewhat conclusively, and so then I was just suddenly like, I didn't know how to hold the amount of conflicting feeling that I had for this person who was such a close friend of mine and who I was not willing to abandon and move on entirely from, but who I also was like angry with and very hurt by. I found that the art of loving gave me a solution to that and allowed me to hold the complexity and not shut it down. And I found it also to be really progressive for when it was written. It's like the 50s. I don't think it was designed to be like a Freud rebuttal or like an anything rebuttal, really. But I found it to have a really nice contrast to a lot of the philosophy that I've read from that time. He was a psychologist, but it's kind of a philosophy book. When I was going through that, and you know, when I'm going through anything with relationships, friends can provide pretty good advice. The internet can't. Jesus Christ, the internet is an awful, awful, awful place to try to seek dating advice from, and I could go on about that forever, but I have a feeling you probably know what I'm saying. And when I say the internet, I mean specifically the sphere of internet dating advice, which could be as simple as like, you know, fucking like a tweet that you see in the daytime that just puts you in kind of a bad mood and makes you start thinking about your other relationships in this very, you know, black and white thing. Anything from that to like these insane fucking people selling like courses, and people are buying them, and people are buying the courses, and the discourse of like modern dating online is insane. It's insane behavior. That seems so clear to me now, but when I was like 19 it was harder to know, and when I was 16 it was really hard to know that, you know, I was just like listening to any fucking person on the internet. It could just be like the crazy guy screaming on the fucking bus, and I was just buying straight into it. As do many young heartbroken people, or people who are confused in their relationships. The only external sources that actually like helped me understand love and like actually supported me becoming a more loving person, it wasn't on the internet, I can tell you that. It was The Art of Loving, and then All About Love by Bell Hooks, and in one of the first pages of that she references The Art of Loving, and I was like, yep. It's still so fucking refreshing to read either of those authors in the midst of whatever the fuck is going on online. Not to sound like a, you know, not to sound. That book and that idea of faith being this thing that you need to carry you through your life, and your faith in others and your faith in yourself, especially in the context of love, was so helpful at a time where I was just so consumed by uncertainty, and I thought uncertainty was like the enemy, and that I needed to probe myself or the other person, or like my subconscious or intuition, basically any way to narrow the situation down into something I could understand and not be so mind-meldingly complex. And that was not possible. What was possible was to have some faith, and to have some faith in uncertainty, to not deny any parts of myself or any feelings I was having just because they conflicted with another feeling I was having. This is the human condition. And you would kind of forget that that's the human condition if you were getting all your advice on Twitter. And I definitely did. There's another line in The Art of Loving where he says that like faith is, God, I'm gonna butcher this too, just read the book. He says that faith in love also comes from yourself, because you trust in your love to have the ability to inspire love in others. Wish I had the book with me. It's at home in LA. I mean, you don't know where I'm from. Oh, keep revealing information. I say that everywhere. I say that to everyone. That actually doesn't narrow it down. Good luck finding me. Good luck finding me in LA County. Go knock on every fucking door. I forgot what I was saying. Fuck. It felt good in a time where I had no grasp on what somebody else was feeling about me, and then that started spiraling out to like, I don't know what anybody thinks or feels of me. To have faith in myself and the kind of person that I was to be this inherently lovable person, and not even lovable, because during this whole time I was kind of like, well fuck, I don't just want to be loved, I want to love. You know, I don't want to just be the object of it. And that doesn't provide me any security anymore, to just know somebody loves me. I want it to be mutual. I want it to be inspiring. And to know that you can build faith in your own love to inspire love in others. At least saying it like that makes more sense to me than just being like, oh, I'm lovable. The kind of love that I possess in me mirrors others' love and inspires others' love. It's mutual and transformative, and even in instances where you feel like love has been denied to you, you still understand your own love is this very powerful, very potent thing that you possess, and that gives you faith that it exists, and that you can receive it and you can give it, and it will be given and received by that other person. I've been thinking about all of that a lot again lately, in this time that is objectively so uncertain, this time in my life, but that is starting to feel like things are making sense after like 2 years of just walking it fucking blind. I read through all my old diaries from that time that I'm talking about, and some of it was funny. I turned the page, I was like, oh, this is when I was tweaking bad. Like, some of it was funny and some of it was deeply, deeply sad, and also kind of inspiring to know that as sad as I am, I'm not sad in that way anymore, and I don't resonate with those things that I said about the universe and about myself. It makes perfect sense why I was feeling so lost in the universe, and why I suddenly had no faith in it, and I had no faith in myself, and I had no faith in my own love. Faith has to be tested in order to have it, you know? Otherwise you're walking it blind just as much. But it's interesting to see that it came back. It's July 15th, but I'm really happy I'm not in that place anymore. That person stayed in my life, and I knew that was gonna have to happen too. Let me just break out these activities. It's one of the parts of week. Oh, it's literally not even faith. This week was actually week 11 autonomy, so forget everything that I just said to you, and don't read The Art of Loving, and don't even try to pronounce Erich Fromm, and have no faith in general. I'm not redoing the video. No one's even gonna know. Like, what fucking Morning Pages heads are watching that? What Julia Cameron purists are watching this series right now? Y'all wouldn't even know that if I didn't say that. How have I changed since beginning my recovery? One of the biggest changes of this journey so far is in week 4, when I realized, like, shit, I just want to be an artist. I'm not gonna talk my way out of it. I'm not gonna downplay it when I'm telling people what I want to do with my life, what I want to be when I grow up. And I felt immediately like a weight lifted from me. I felt less embarrassed. I can't believe I was ever embarrassed to say that. It wasn't even people in my life, for the most part, trying to discourage me or belittle me or make me think this wasn't something I would be successful in. I've actually gotten a lot of support, and I've gotten a lot of people even from my very early days of making music who are like, you're gonna be successful. I just still think that I was not immune to general societal pressure, as I guess none of us are. You know, also very afraid of being broke forever. I don't wanna be this broke forever. I don't wanna be this broke forever. I admitted to myself I wanted to be an artist, and it felt transformative literally in that very second. And I was like, fuck it, like, this is how I should have always been approaching this. Obvious to me now. Yeah, and I want to do this forever. And I plan on it. I have developed legitimate and intuitive faith that I will be successful in the exact way that I wish to be. I say exact way because I have realized that I have not had faith in myself, and I've not had faith in the universe and in the field of my career and in all of these things. I haven't had enough faith to even really outline what it is that I wanted and what it meant to be successful and what I did want and what I didn't want, because I was like, I should just want whatever I think that I can have. And I thought that no one would ever listen to my music, and so I was like, all I want in this world is for 5 people to listen to my music. That was awesome. I was so happy when 5 people listened to my music, but like, I can be realistic with myself and be like, my music's good, I want people to hear it. I realized that I could dream big. I could dream bigger than I was dreaming. I wasn't even dreaming. You know, I was honest about my desires. Let me decide what it is that I want. Let me like shut the fuck up and listen to myself for a second and be like, what is it that your heart is calling for, bro? And I remember specific instances in which I was dishonest, and I would downplay the amount that I like worked on my music. I would downplay how good I thought it was. All artists need to stop doing this in general, because it's starting to piss me off. It's like, I understand that, you know, a lot of your conceptions about being pretentious are gonna deter you from talking about your music and saying that it's good, and you're gonna want to downplay it, and you also are just not gonna want to have a huge ego, and you also might feel, you know, impeded by all of these other barriers to creativity. But you have to stop saying that, like, my music, I don't even think it's that good. Oh my god, like, but did you like it though? But like, no, I don't even really make music like that. It's like, Jesus Christ, everybody puts out art and makes art. Okay, maybe not everybody makes it because they think it's good. No, they do. They do, and I mean good not even in like a commercial sense. I mean, you think that it's good and you're proud of it and you're happy when you're making it. And it actually isn't saving any of us. It's just making us look so much more annoying in other people's eyes. At least in my eyes, I'm getting annoyed. Fucking take some pride in your work. I know you have pride in it. I know that you think it's good. And that's not a bad or egotistical thing to say. I'm sick of pretending like I think it's bad. I don't. I wouldn't be trying to put it out if I thought that it was bad. I wouldn't even be making it if I thought it was bad. I know seems kind of antithetical to, like, you know, make bad art, don't worry about the quality. But I make everything that I make, even when I make it just for myself and no one ends up seeing it, I still thought it was good. Even if I look at it later and I don't like it, in the moment while I was making it, I thought it was good. Always. In some way, or I thought there was a good idea behind it or good potential, or even just I enjoyed making it, no matter what the product was. Why would I pretend that I think it's bad? Why would I pretend that that whole process I thought was bad? I don't know. I just fucking just take some pride in your work. I would not think that you were egotistical and pretentious and annoying. I would find you more egotistical and pretentious and annoying if you obviously really liked the work that you made, but you were faking humble and compliment fishing. In becoming honest with myself about my desires, I actually became aware of them, and I felt that they were real and tangible and achievable for the first time in my life because I dared to dream. I felt connected to them, and I felt like they were within my reach for the first time ever. And in being more honest with myself about my desires, I mean like literally writing them down and like looking at them and saying them out loud and just being like, this is what I want. It's okay to want, guys. It's okay to be caught wanting. I also realized all the other ways I'd been dishonest. Some of those were like I was dishonest to myself, and I was also dishonest to others in a lot of ways. A lot of times I think you're not, you know, lying to be a sociopath. You're lying because you don't feel safe, or you don't feel understood, or you don't feel like what you are trying to convey will be understood if you say it honestly. And so it's subconscious. You're not really aiming to do anybody that disservice of dishonesty. I feel like when I started realizing the ways I was lying, then it just all has started like spiraling out. Been like, oh my god, I've been so dishonest about so many things, even just like trivial menial things. And that has been jarring and maybe one of the less fun parts of the artist way, but I can't say it isn't transformative. I would like to be an honest person. I feel very true to myself and very authentic, but that's not necessarily the same as being honest. I want to have the amount of respect for other people that being honest would take. I feel like I was either being honest to persuade somebody to like me, or maybe not be mad at me, or not get me in trouble. What would trouble even be as a 22-year-old? Actually, it would be getting my car booted. But yeah, instances where I don't feel safe, or I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble, or someone's gonna be mad at me, will make me compulsively lie. And I don't want to be like that, and I want to have the amount of respect for the other person to be honest with them, and to also just face the consequences of my actions, and face somebody being angry or disappointed in me, and know that's not the end of the world, and that it is just an indicator to do better next time. And I also want to have the respect for myself to be like, I don't need to lie about anything, because I don't think anything I'm doing is seedy and wrong, you know, and any mistakes I make would have been at least coming from good intentions, you know, and I don't need to be dishonest about the mistakes, because I wasn't ever trying to deceive or fuck anyone over. I don't know if I would have come to that conclusion if I wasn't doing this program that is so much about honesty, and it's like about creative honesty, but if your creative force is your life. Also, I have a reason to wake up in the morning. Like, legit, I struggle so much with oversleeping. I've talked about that in these videos before, and I've actually been getting up with my alarm. Mind you, it's for like 10:30 a.m. and that's early for me. And I've been sitting at my desk and doing my morning pages every day. And now I like don't want to do anything else in the morning before I've done the morning pages. I have this electric kettle I got in Little Tokyo that I wasn't really utilizing before because it's like kind of broken, but it's not broken enough that it doesn't work to be on my desk for me to pour myself a cup of tea while I do my morning pages. And if I can just make tea from legitimately my bed, drink a little bit of green tea in the morning, get my system running, and sit there and do my morning pages and just write whatever, yeah, it takes me like 15 or 20 minutes. Which also means that it's been probably like a handful of weeks since I've woken up and gone on my phone. Because like, I mean, no feet on camera. Anyway, I have a reason to wake up in the morning, and it's to do my morning pages. And now that I'm not looking at my phone first thing in the morning, surprise, I feel better. And it also is so much more obvious how much social media has been affecting my mental health when I'm not going on it compulsively, and then the second that I go on it, I'm like, oh, I feel so much worse. I dread opening Instagram as if it's something that I have to do. It's like not a fucking obligation by any means. You could just not go on it. You can just not go on it if it makes you feel horrible and really bad. Did you guys know this? Has anyone tried this? Butterfly effect. Doing the artist's way has led a lot of other people I know to become interested in it, or to kind of start adopting some of the things that I've learned and shared into their own lives, which is really cool. One of my friends told me, it was after his own show, I was like, do you want to hang out? He was like, honestly, like, I need to just like go home and decompress. I'm gonna finish this bottle of soju and watch your artist way videos. I was like, yes, okay, bro, I'll see you later. Enjoy them. Even people I haven't talked to about it, it's cool that like my putting it out in the world has still reached other people. My friend and I were in this bookstore in Berkeley the other day, and it's shutting down. They're shutting down half-price books in Berkeley. Y'all probably don't know or care what that is, but it's moving me a lot. I'm not from Berkeley. I don't live in Berkeley. It's really upsetting me. So anyway, we were in half-price books in Berkeley, I'll tell you that much. My friend's friend, like, came around the corner with the Artist Way, and I was like, are you doing the Artist Way right now? And like immediately my friend was like, she's been doing it, she wants to talk about it. It's like, yes I do, bro, please let me in and let me talk about it. I just think in general it's very cool that this is getting a resurgence of popularity. I do hope that I kind of started making these videos to hold myself accountable to doing it, and to track my own progress. Now that there's been a little community around it, I've had to kind of try to figure out what it is that you guys are getting from it. Other than watching me talk to myself, I can't imagine that's like super exciting for you. I guess I just try to share what I've learned in the same way that I always am trying to share with my like friends in real life and people that I know what I've learned. I feel like every time that I'm struggling with something and I finally understand something about it, I come to some kind of revelation. Like I feel like I'm slowly unlocking these solutions and unlocking them through a lot of struggle, kind of trying to solve this like puzzle that I guess I think that life is. And I'm very eager to share all of those, knowing that like a lot of them probably won't resonate to everybody. And my weird convoluted way of talking about things and trailing off in the middle of my sentences is maybe not always conducive to another person understanding what I'm saying or it being impactful at all. I guess what I hope comes from these videos and what my intention is posting them publicly is that if you watch this video and this is just some random part of your day, you know, and it gets replaced instantly by the next thing in the algorithm that will be recommended to you. If you retain even one random ass thing that I say, even if it's not something I was trying to make a point of or it comes about in a convoluted way, I have taken the knowledge that I've been lucky enough to receive and I've passed it on, and maybe it can help you. And I feel very moved when I tell one of my friends some, you know, piece of advice hoping that it'll land and they reference it back to me later, or they're like, yeah, I was thinking of when you said this thing and then I did this thing. That is very moving to me. I really hope that anything that I illuminate for myself, maybe somebody whose brain works like mine or who is on kind of like a similar path or similar struggle or something, might be able to glean some wisdom from it and make their life, you know, 3% easier, maybe even just that day. I do have hope in that. I hope that's happening. And if it's not, and if you're getting nothing from these videos, then I hope the next one that you watch will be more illuminating. But you know what? It might not, and the solution might be to just go do the artist way yourself instead of hearing me talk about it, or like go just make the art even. Watching a bunch of these videos is kind of a form of procrastination. I hope you know that. What you need to be doing is just making something. I like these kind of videos because it helps me make stuff, but I also make this stuff. And for probably like 7 years, I like barely made this stuff because I was just watching these videos. So get off YouTube and go make some shitty, horrible art, but it's not shitty and horrible, and you know it isn't, so don't say that it is. And keep trying to fucking compliment farm. I'll just compliment you. Just tell me say this is some art that I made that's good, and let me see it and be like, cool, I fuck with it. Or like, it's not for me, but like you're doing something good. Stop downplaying it. It's annoying and it's pick me behavior. And go read The Art of Loving by Erich Fromm. Or don't, because this video actually isn't about faith, it's about autonomy. And I don't even know if I applied the concept of rational faith. I don't know what's going on. Love you. And I will see you next week, and hopefully my car won't be impounded by then.